Well, speaking, I mentioned Battlefield, and it'll nice little quick segue into that. We'll just quickly talk about it. Has anyone seen the demo for Battlefield 4?
Love it.
I have
Love it.
several times. YouTube trailer, and I've seen like almost more than half of the 17-minute one.
Yeah.
Next gen, I think it's going to be a beast.
I heard.
I think it's gonna look better on the PC though.
Of course. There's no arguments
It
there.
always is.
Well, then again, given the PlayStation 4 specs, it's gonna look pretty, regardless. You know,
it won't be a bad-looking game, like. But
it'll be a lot fucking better than Battlefield 3 does now. I'll tell you.
Did they mention 60 FPS?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that was when Battlefield 3 came out. Like a lot of people were complaining that 30 FPS it just won't look right. Mind you, the people who were complaining about that, I highly doubt they could tell the difference. But
yeah, well, it looks like it'll run 60 frames on console. Like that's been confirmed. So it looks like Call of Duty on console has got a bit even more of a competitor this time around. I think Battlefield 4 will actually do a decent job really this time round. Fingers crossed.
people are getting bored of Call of Duty anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's what killed Call of Duty. It's too big right now. That's like the go-to game. That's
if you want to know what I believe killed Call of Duty is Modern Warfare 2. I've played Call of Duty for about more than 6 years. I've been playing it for years upon years. And, servers haven't been too big, but Modern Warfare 2 blew up so quickly, so fast. Everybody told their friends to get it, and their friends would get it, and it just got such a big thing. Everybody got bored of it very quickly, and that's what I believe just happened to kill it. But what I think is that's keeping Battlefield going. It's different. It's new. I played Battlefield for a while too, but they've been working harder, and they don't release it annually. They release it every 2 or 3 years. So that's what I say on that.
Yeah, I actually prefer the release of every 2 or 3 years rather than a yearly release. Like, let's take Call of Duty and Battlefield for an example. Like, Battlefield is a little more refined. I'm not trying to hate on Call of Duty or anything, but like
I am.
Feel free.
I feel like Battlefield 3 and all like the Battlefield games are much more refined than like a Call of Duty game.
I think it's diversity as well. I mean, if you upload Battlefield and you go in there, if you fancy doing Call of Duty style run and gun, you can do. If you fancy doing sniping, proper sniping, you can do. If you fancy running hell in tanks or helicopters or jets, you have the option. And so it's diversity. There's more variety for each individual play style there with Battlefield, which Call of Duty just doesn't offer really.
Yeah, well, personally, I see Battlefield as the hybrid. The current Battlefield. I know Battlefield's been out for many years beforehand, but the way I'm looking at it is it's a hybrid between Call of Duty and Halo. Okay, it's Halo with Call of Duty weapons, right? Because you got your tanks, you got your fly things, like similar to Halo. There is obviously some change, some significant differences, but it's like a mixture of the two, and it's not as good as Halo, and it's not as popular as Call of Duty. But I'm incredibly biased because I think Halo was the best game in the last 10 years. So.
Well, and again,
not really Halo 4 though. I have to disagree with Halo 4. But any other Halos, I agree.
It's not Bungie.
Well, what would you rather be? Would you rather be the best at one thing, or cover the even ground and be, medium at all the things really? Well, so it's like, do you want to be the best open world style combat shooter like Halo, or do you want to be the best run and gun one, or do you want that do you want to cover and own that middle ground that gets the best of everything?
You gotta be the Mario of Mario Kart. Be all around.
Well, whatever it's working because they have redone the engine again, I think.
Frostbite 3 we're on now.
Frostbite 2 was just done for Battlefield 3, and I can't think of any other games. I know that Mass Effect 4 is meant to be coming out with it, but like they've already new engine. Come on, so those are expensive to make engines. Like You think game development's expensive? No. Engine development's where a lot of money
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah,
So-
we'll talk a bit more about a new engine in a bit. But as far as Battlefield 3 goes, Battlefield 4, it's running on Frostbite 3 now. Like, yeah, they've built a whole new engine for it. Well, Frostbite 3's been out for quite a bit. I'm sure they tried it on a game beforehand. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I know that they did try it because it looks pretty nice or whatever. But because just seeing all the trailers, just Battlefield 3 is, or sorry, 4 is just amazing looking.
The game looks great.
Mhm.
I'm just checking because I'm sure Frostbite 3 was used on another game.
Yeah, I have it here. Dragon Age 3 Inquisition.
Was that it?
Yep,
Isn't out yet.
I'm on the
Yep.
Wikipedia right now.
Yeah, that's.
Dragon Age 3, the next Mass Effect or something.
Is the next Mass Effect using 2 or 3?
3.
Three.
using three.
It's using 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Mass Effect 3 was using 4. Nah, that can't be right. Came out about the same time.
Yeah, no, Mass Effect
Oh, no,
4
no,
will be a
yeah.
Frostbite 3 game.
I remember reading somewhere that Mass Effect 3 was kind of a toned down version of the Frostbite 3 engine, but they just gave it Frostbite 2 because it was closer to Frostbite 2. So it was kind of the best of both worlds. Oh no, shit, that was it. I remember the PS3 version of Mass Effect 3 was Frostbite 3.
There we go.
I remember that was it now.
Was it?
Yeah,
For no
That's
reason.
nice.
I'm
'Cause the
sure of it.
PlayStation doesn't have the hardware to
Oh,
completely
it was
take advantage
yeah.
of it.
It was a beta version of Frostbite 3 or something. But yeah, the PS3 version of Mass Effect 3 had was running a beta version of Frostbite 3. That was it.
It wasn't all that bad, so it worked out a little bit.
But yeah, overall with Battlefield, the interesting thing is that what they showed, the 7-minute thing, it was a single player demo.
Yeah.
And what Battlefield and like DICE and EA have done are basically they've done the reverse of Call of Duty, didn't they? Where Call of Duty started off as a single player experience and then they brought in multiplayer. Battlefield started off as a multiplayer only game and then they brought in single player.
Debatable. I mean, they brought in a Call of Duty style single player, so
Yeah,
only
but
there as a tagline. You buy it for the multiplayer still.
yeah, there's still multiplayers. So I'm just happy if they just have Call of Duty online and Battlefield 3 online and just get rid of the fucking single players. But the point that I was getting at is if Battlefield 3 multiplayer, Battlefield 4 multiplayer looks and runs as good as that single player 17-minute demo, it's gonna be a lot of fun, especially with the amount of destructibility that demo shows.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with Battlefield 3. I heard the Frostbite 2 engine had really great destructibility and stuff, but when it came to it, you couldn't really even knock down a tree with a tank. It was really annoying.
Yeah, that's true. I believe in
it
Battlefield
was
2.
a little bit broken, but it looks
Yeah.
like they really fixed it this
No,
time.
I think the trees are just made out of pure steel. I've hit planes with trees, and my plane would just combust into flames after hitting a tree. Like, these trees are
Yeah,
the
but,
spawn of Satan.
I believe in Battlefield 2, it was a little bit better. Like, you can destroy things easier. I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure, though.
There has to be a middle line, because if absolutely everything destroyed, the game loses all effect of the cover system, and everyone's just running around like a chicken with their head cut off. But yet, if there's too much cover, not enough destructibility, it kind of loses that advantage that Battlefield has due to its more adaptable environment for the gamers.
To be honest, I think Battlefield 3 messed up at a certain point because the trees are made out of pure adamantium. But if you actually
Yeah, these
throw-
fuckers could take on Wolverine and live.
If you throw like an ammo box at a wall non-stop, the wall would actually break. And I think it should have been that the buildings are more supported rather than trees. That's just my personal view on it, but I just don't know how these trees are
You know
so
that with
strong.
old games, it doesn't matter which game you play, it's either if it's an old game or a new game, trees are fucking strong. They are always strong.
And then in the games, global warming isn't a problem because the trees never get destroyed. A poor chainsaw would never be able to destroy it.
It's like a lumberjack's dream. He wakes up in the morning, keeps
I think
working on the
only-
tree.
Yeah, I think
Meet up in
only in
Canada.
I think
Go on.
only in Lumberjack Simulator 2012 you can actually kill trees. I've seen
There's
it
a-
happen.
There's a lumberjack simulator.
There's a
Yeah.
Lumberjack Simulator.
I know what I'm
I've heard of
downloading right
farming
now.
Simulator. I've heard of farming simulator. I've heard of train simulator. I've heard of flight simulator. I've heard of all these other simulators. I've heard of bus simulator. I've heard of I forgot what the thing is, but it's like that thing that cleans the sidewalks.
Road
Street
sweeper simulator.
Sweeper
Yeah.
simulator.
Oh my god. Yeah, but basically, Lumberjack Simulator is probably the most realistic game when it comes to destruction because you can actually destruct trees.
I actually
Yeah.
see this and it looks pretty good. Fun.
Yeah, buy it. Buy it. That's amazing. It's
Oh,
a good
and
game.
Buy it.
quick
Buy
thing.
it from my game store. There'll be a link in the description. Just
Farm
shameless plug
Simulator.
while we're doing it.
Farm Simulator 2013, best
And
game
we got
ever.
our plug in. Let's get some sponsors.
Quick
It's a
question.
real game. It's a real game.
Yeah, I searched it up. It's real. Quick thing
Yeah, I
about
told you.
Battlefield 4. I don't know how many of you guys watch the
What's that?
17-minute gameplay, but
I
at
am,
one
at the
I
point,
am.
did you see when the not buggy, I don't know what it's called. It's the Russian vehicle with the gunner on
The
it. It's,
DPV.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the little buggy, the
Yeah,
June
yeah,
buggy
yeah.
or something.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys noticed, but when it rolled up, you actually gave your squad the command to fire on it. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
going to be a new thing in Battlefield where you can tell different people around the map in multiplayer where to give you fire. I don't know if that's a new thing or if it was just for that mission. But if that's a new feature in Battlefield 4, I'm going to think that's pretty amazing if you could tell where you're going to need, like supporting fire.
The game is
Well,
all about communication. It would only make
Yeah.
sense if they would add something like that.
Didn't they have that
Yeah.
in Battlefield 3? Like you could just run around and spot people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's it called?
That was a little.
That
It's
was
just a
the way-
spotting feature, yeah.
that
The
was-
way everything gets targeted and stuff, it sort of reminds me of like Graw 2, I believe. Ghost Recon,
Yeah,
Damn
like
it.
where you
Damn it,
control
phone.
people about.
be
But
quiet.
according to the devs, what they were talking about is that obviously Battlefield has always been a team-based game, especially in the multiplayer and stuff. But what they want to do is try and integrate that a lot more into the single player. So I think that it wouldn't surprise me if they have drop in, drop out co-op and stuff like that. It's expected. They'd be an idiot not to use it really. But what they're also doing is, like as you said, you've got the communication aspect of GWAR, so you'll be able to tell your squad to a degree to stay here and give suppressing fire whilst you go around and flank, and all that stuff's in the demo, and it's all tied in using the spot function which they had in the multiplayer on BF3, and they've brought that forward into the Battlefield 4 single player because it was a good feature really.
Yeah, and at least if you tell a computer, they might actually listen to you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Ridiculous. So yeah, Battlefield.
But yeah.
Anyone?
Anyone want to finish up on Battlefield? Because I'm looking forward to it. I hope they do a beta.
Oh,
Yeah,
they,
me
they
too.
are.
They
Yeah.
will. They will.
I
do beta.
wish I'm praying like that they make a beta. If they don't, I will like be so sad.
Yeah, they will. I think it was confirmed with Medal of Honor Warfighter. You got like access
Oh
to it.
god, yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry, that game was so horrific. I completely forgot that key. I would actually bought that game just for the beta key.
Yeah, and they were. God, I should have done that because with SimCity, if you bought in the first week, you got like a free game, and that was on the list.
But would that beta key be included though?
Yeah, well, it's the only reason to buy it, so I imagine.
Yeah, sure.
Can I just touch up on one last thing that I noticed in the trailer
on.
for Battlefield? I don't know how many of you guys also noticed this, but it was the mission where you're first getting that guy, that's part of your squad, he needed covering fire. I don't know how many of you guys noticed
Yeah.
this, but
Irish or
yeah,
something like that.
that guy. Your
Yeah.
gun, you could tilt it to the side and there's that secondary,
Yeah, I was looking at. I got
Yeah.
all excited inside. I was like, no.
Well, it's a
like 2 sights.
it's a side iron sight, so
wasn't that in actually Call of Duty?
It It was
I
a
believe
hybrid
so.
site, but it wasn't implemented like this one.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
with
think
this
it was
one,
just
you
like
can
that
have,
in the
like a red dot
campaign.
scope, and that with the other one, it was just like that certain site that you could
Yeah.
alternate.
I think in campaign they had it like that. But I hope that's a
Yeah.
new multiplayer feature as well, because if you could use a side iron sight along with your regular sight, that'd be good. It'd be better for more close quarters engagements if you just use the iron sights, because you don't have to zoom in as far. But if they implement that into multiplayer, I'm gonna be pretty impressed.
Yeah,
I shouldn't go on.
Oh yeah. One last thing about that that area. You know, when the iron sight was popped up, pretty much when he was throwing the grenades, I'm like, he's gonna blow up the car that the guy's hiding behind.
Yeah,
But then he doesn't. It doesn't blow up.
indestructible vehicles.
And trees.
Because that vehicle was made from trees.
It was.
And therefore,
There you go.
It's like a wooden
There
tank.
So, basically, if you make a Battlefield game in which all the houses are made out of wood from trees, they cannot be destructed.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
That's something new for developers.
pro tip
make
for the
houses,
devs.
make houses out of trees.
No. That's for architects and carpenters. It's just like, make it out of wood. Use all the wood.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, speaking of trees, well, it's a bit of a shit segue, but let's talk about DayZ.
Yeah, I was thinking
with
of
all,
that.
with all
There-
the
there-
trees,
yeah, there are a lot of trees in there, so...
which, believe it or not, you can kill in DayZ.
I believe you can if you have a car.
Yeah.
Or a big ass ATV.
Or the
Yeah.
the axe, which works like a shotgun, because you can just snipe people with it.
Yeah,
Who's
but in the
played the mod?
standalone, it's not gonna work like that.
Who's played the mod first off?
I have.
I have.
I have not.
I have like at
I
least
have
30.
not.
Have
I have.
I would like to say something about the mod that I hope they fix is that the problem with the mod is that once you get power in the game, you don't give it up. Like for example, if you get a lucky break, find this dead guy who is AFK, and you pick up his assault rifle, you just run to the hills and just kill people for your loot to survive. It's not hard anymore. There's no if you pay attention and just stay hidden, you're not gonna lose that power you have. It makes it really annoying for new people that come in and you find your food, your glow sticks, right? You're looking for a gun, you just get killed from some guy up on the hill that's been staying there for the entire day because he got a lucky break. There's no kind of way to rise up in power between once you have that assault rifle, you're not giving it up, and no one can take it from you. It's just unfair because there's no real fighting element. You don't really have a chance with your G18 against the guy with the assault rifle.
We've got a big DayZ fanboy in the house.
Yeah, I've spent at least 60 hours playing DayZ alone, pretty much. So
60 hours, that's nothing.
no, but
I know,
like with my
a
kind
day
of
to,
schedule.
a day to log into our World of Warcraft accounts and see how much we've tallied up on there. Christ.
Fuck World of Warcraft,
No,
I've got like 1,000
if-
hours into Dota.
I have
had it
no.
for
I
6
have at
months.
least. I have at least 2,000 hours on Minecraft for sure. For sure,
hell.
I'll guarantee you it.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, according to Dean Hall, basically the mod is on borrowed time now. It's dying out
Yeah, it is.
because there's so much stuff required. Because like you've got the anti-cheating stuff and the Hive server, and it's just giving the Hive server so much havoc, especially the so-called anti-cheating software and features that they've implemented. The servers weren't meant for it. So sooner or later the mod is gonna fucking die, which is why Dean is rushing his ass off without making the game shit to get it out, presumably for a June release, the alpha for a June release.
Rushing it out, despite the delays.
Well, according to the guys at Bohemia, everything's done. Everything to get the alpha working is done. All they're waiting for is the client server architecture to be finished. They're just waiting for decent servers to be finished
Yeah.
and synced up. But But yeah, no, when the game starts, according to the notes, it'll be basic, no vehicles, guns are rare, and it's going back to the old school days of DayZ when the mod first started up.
I think that the problem they might have with when they release DayZ is that with Arma 3 coming out, which looks awesome by the way, the thing is, like I played the alpha, someone could probably just make a DayZ for an Arma 3, and then no one would really buy the actual DayZ, since you could make
yes, it's
an
sharing the
equally
engine with
fun
Arma 3,
version as you did with Arma
if I'm
2,
not mistaken.
DayZ,
But,
and the new Arma 3, which would be a lot better because Arma 3 obviously has a better engine, better fluidity, more gameplay things, like that.
Isn't the DayZ Standalone sharing the engine with Arma?
Yeah, and plus the other thing is that it will, if Arma 3 comes out and someone makes a mod, Bohemia won't look after that mod, you know, so that mod will get raped by everyone, you know, hackers and whoever, so that mod created by a user won't last that long, because Bohemia will just go, right, no, we've got our standalone, we're going to care about this now. We'll send a little bit to look after the original mod, the one that Dean Hall created, but apart from that, you're on your own if you want to do your own DayZs for Arma 3. We have our standalone, this is our game, we're looking after this.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have too much trouble with dealing with that.
I'll be honest, I only bought
the
combo for Arma. Like, I never would have heard of Arma
just
2
like,
if it wasn't for DayZ.
This thing, a mod for what we actually have made, so it's like free advertising for them, which is essentially what the original DayZ mod was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, there's some people who really know their stuff in this kind of thing, but, like, there's others that it's just like,
I think that's the general consensus for
Exactly.
everyone who owns it, except one guy who's really into hardcore military sims. Like, yeah.
You gotta know how to play properly before you actually play, because sometimes people can ruin the games. Like, for DayZ, most people didn't know how to play, so they cheated, and that kind of ruined it. Like I said, created even more imbalance in power.
Well, it's part of the learning curve, isn't it? You know,
just one
DayZ's
second, guys,
got
I
a
will
big
be right
learning
back.
curve. Like we've all played the mod, we all know it. Well, apart from Snowman, it's got a steep learning curve, and I mean, you can't play it like any other game you've ever played in your life.
But cheating is not part of the learning curve, because there's no possible way to step up to if someone's like cheating. There's no way to kind of beat them, you know?
True, but games will always have cheaters. I mean, the only reason why they've taken such an advantage this time round is because of the Hive server the mod is on, and that server wasn't really designed to handle all the stuff that's going on, all the hacking and all the rest of it. So, which is why they're spending a lot more time working on the architecture for the new standalone servers to prevent all that from happening.
Yeah, cheating won't be as big a deal in the standalone. I mean, it was like Dean and his buddy who made the mod. Now they've got a whole development team behind it. The anti-cheat's going to be a lot better than it was before.
Yeah, even guys from Ubisoft Montreal, you know, are over there, have been, you know, hired out to be working on it. I think a lot of AAA developers have, like, you know, lent one or two guys over to them at some point or another to work on it, because even all the major AAA developers go, you know what, that is an awesome idea, that is a great game, and even though it's not ours, we're going to support it to some degree, because it's such an innovation. It's probably the biggest innovation in gaming in quite a while, and I think
Since Minecraft.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting for the actual copies to come out, because DayZ will be like the first one, and then there'll be like a clone of it. The same thing that happens to everything else. It's not the War Z, so...
Hell, we've already seen what happened to the War Z.
Now, well, my issue is with DayZ is the newer people that are gonna hop on, because if you think about it now, a lot of people have already played the DayZ mod on the Arma 2, so the new players that, you know, are just gonna get it, they're gonna get so screwed over with all the
Yeah.
well-experienced players, and just like it was in Arma 2, with the excessive killing and stealing of other players' items.
Yeah, that's what I said. They should find a way to fix that.
I have suggestions for this, right? One of my buddies is like really into this. He actually got he's like active in the forums. He was asked to be part of the closed alpha. He had to like sign an NDA and like send it back to them and everything, which I thought was pretty funny because I've never heard of that happening for anything. Like, all online contracts are done through digital signature, so this is serious stuff, and he isn't even in yet, so it's not out yet. But I was having a discussion with him, and I was thinking individual servers with timed reset periods. For example, the server will entirely be reset at the end of a week, so even if that one guy does get very powerful, 1 week doesn't matter, server's been reset, goes on to something else. Now obviously you all have permanent servers where that can happen, because the way I'm hearing like stuff that's going on about it is that they're wanting to try and have things permanent, and if that happens, I'm almost positive it will end up being two factions per server, right? It'll be some big clan and then some other big clan who have just decided to are like gathering all the resources, and that's theirs.
They pretty much dominate the server, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what'll happen. Probably, there'll definitely be two big ones, right? Because someone needs to combat the other.
It's going on the lines of Warcraft, really, that isn't it? With the major clans dominating the regions and stuff.
If it
resets
like a week,
that would be nice to see.
Once a month,
Like,
I think it gives everybody a chance
if you just have like servers that last a
and
week
to get their stuff
or 2
new
weeks
again.
and just a variable length, and then obviously one permanent one, that would be fine. I think that would solve the problem quite nicely. Yeah.
You know what?
Well, remember as well. Sorry, go on.
Oh, who's gonna talk first? Because
Not me.
Oh, go on. I'll just say this thing because it does tie in pretty well. In terms of leveling the playing field between old and new players, Dean has basically said like when the alpha comes out, it's going to be right back to basics, just like the original mod was when it first was created. So no vehicles, guns are extremely rare, and even then, the best gun you'll get is an assault rifle, a basic M16 or stuff like that during that initial period, whilst they're testing the servers, testing the capacity. And then over time, when they start introducing other features like the vehicles and building on the base system, the underground base system that they're implementing, by that time, all these new players should have technically caught on to how to really play the game and how to effectively survive and how to proceed in certain situations, really. So by the time the mod becomes when the standalone becomes what the mod is now, like with all the weapons and all the action going on, all the players should have practically caught up and up to pace really with how to play the game with, really, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't really see that as an issue at all. I mean, DayZ is meant to be a hardcore game. Like, original plan for that was it was hardcore. It's kind of went mainstream now, so it's getting a little bit more casual. I hope they actually keep it hardcore. But as you're saying, like people coming in like later on. My example here will be Dota. Dota 1 was a mod really hard to access, but a lot of people played it. So now you've got Dota 2, and that's like very accessible. I mean, it's free to play on Steam. Who doesn't play games on the PC and doesn't have Steam? So a lot of people are coming into that. Now that is a ridiculous game with a very high learning curve, and people are coming in with absolutely no knowledge. And basically what they're doing is just get on with it. So, and that's Valve, they kind of know what they're doing with this stuff. They're adding in like tutorial features, and I assume DayZ will have a similar thing. So, I don't see it as an issue. Again, it just comes along with the idea of DayZ should be a hardcore game for like
more experienced players,
for example. Not even more experienced, just people who want to experience a game like that. So, it's kind of, if you're going into it and don't know what you're doing, just deal with it, like persevere as much as possible. If it's, you might get griefers, but I'm pretty sure they'll have a system to deal with that, like for example,
just to touch upon what Snowman said,
So I don't know.
He said
I think
Dota 2 is free to play on Steam. It is.
I don't think you spend like a ridiculous amount of time on trying to fix that.
Well, I think they should do.
Just a quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go first.
Okay. Just to touch up on what Snowman said. He said Dota 2 is free to play on Steam. It is not. It's $30.
No, it's not. It's free to play.
Everybody got their
If anyone would like a
damn
beta key, just message me.
Yeah, I got
I
like
have
5.
like 600.
5.
Yeah, I got like 5 and I gave them all away. Either way, but it's like $30.
You can't give them away. You can buy it for $30, but then you are an idiot.
Like, there's so many keys that people have. It's just so.
Yeah.
There's no point. But I believe you only get a key if you were enlisted in the beta or whatever, or something.
Anyway, kind of off topic, but you know, yeah, it's fine.
Talk about that later.
What I think they should do in the Arma 3 DayZ, and this might work, I think they should make the items more common than they were, just for the sake of less killing. Because think of it this way: if there's easier accessible weapons, easier accessible ammo, bandages, and so on and so forth, you're not gonna have all these big convoys that people had in Arma 2, stopping people, killing them just for the sake of resources. And don't get me wrong, I understand that.
I wouldn't consider that. I think that people will be bandits and kill you regardless. I mean, have you ever spawn camping on the beaches? It's happened to me loads of times. But even Dean Hall says he doesn't even call it a game. In many of his interviews, I love it, he calls it an experiment. Because it is an experiment. It's a big social experiment on a gaming platform, and the idea of having more items kind of invalidates the point of the game. It's a survival zombie horror game. You have to survive.
I completely agree with that.
It's a hardcore game, and you don't want to casual it down. What they could do, obviously, is since I assume that they're going to do something similar as they did with DayZ, and it's just like you can set up your own server. You can do whatever you want in that server.
Probably.
I mean, you can have all guns at the spawn with boxes, and it's lovely, and that'll make for a really shitty experience.
Go on, Tyler. You were saying. Sorry.
Just touching up onto what Wayne was saying. Something with spawn killing on the beaches. One time I was running along the beaches because I just spawned in. I had nothing. I saw this guy. He was AFK for like half the time I was near him. He had nothing too. He was a fresh spawn. I killed him with zombies that were chasing me. It was so
at least you didn't get a bandit skin for that. Then that was a trolling kill.
Yeah, no. Like halfway through, after he lost about half of his blood, he started running around and trying to get the zombies onto me.
But yeah, if you ever want to watch great DayZ content on YouTube, watch Frankie on PC in 1080p.
Yep, I watch him.
I
He's an
mean,
amazing person.
yeah, he's absolutely awesome. Just his content is so good for DayZ, and it's just hilarious. But yeah, with DayZ, the standalone, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't actually own the mod. I've always played it at my friends, so I'm just waiting for the standalone to come out. And the second it becomes available, I will be buying it. Because I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to play it.
What I think they should do is not make everything a hit or miss thing. Now, don't get me wrong, that was fun. But I mean, I think they should add police stations and more military bases where you'll obviously find stronger weapons than just in a house or a shack or something like that. Like, I think it shouldn't be just hit or miss, like,
just to
travel
balance it
4
out,
hours to a military base and it's empty.
They've
I mean,
already
go watch all the dev development logs on Dean Hall's channel. I mean, there's tons of stuff there, all showing you the inner workings on how they're doing things now and what they're doing with spawn loot, and how 90% of all the buildings in the world are enterable now, and they can all be fortified if you choose to.
Nice.
And all that sort of thing. So yeah, if you want more info, go watch the dev blogs. Really, they're absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I'll definitely start watching them after the podcast. I'll check into them.
Yep. What's it called? I already forgot a little bit. But including the houses and stuff, I feel like the cities, like, it shouldn't be like just a few big cities like Chernus and Electro, but like I feel like the city, like there should be more big cities. Like each city should technically be big, like more like in real life, because you don't see a small town like beside another small town beside another one, which is gonna be like with a big city not far from it.
Well, they've already confirmed that they're expanding the map, aren't they?
Yeah, they're expanding the map, and obviously they're adding more stuff to it. Like, you've got the original Chernarus map, and they've basically filled in a load of it and extended it a little bit as well. So I think the stuff that you're talking about, like, expanding the cities and stuff, all we can really say is, well, wait until the alpha comes out, really, and then we can assess how effective the housing features in the cities are. But a few of the features that they have introduced is a hotkey system, which I thought was interesting, because that's going more on the MMO route, really.
Yeah,
Was necessary.
Yeah.
One thing I felt like annoying was a little bit on the hotkeys, is that how you had to lower and raise your gun all the time if you wanted to shoot or not.
Oh no, I like that idea, because like, you'll be able to assess if someone's a threat or not, and like if you see them raise the gun, you can react accordingly. Because how many times have you run past someone, or like, you barely saw them and they've just shot you because you've got them they've got you in the sights already? It prevents that. I can see why they've done it, because it prevents the idea of who shoots first, really. You know, so you can see how the player is going to react a lot more based on their character animations.
Yeah, but I feel like if you have a heavy gun, it's going to take longer. I feel like they should make it so it takes longer to raise your gun up, and not so it's like the exact same time as like a pistol or something.
But the thing with the game, it should be, is that the whole point of DayZ is movement and like knowing the game and knowing how to play. It's not like Call of Duty. There's not supposed to be fast-paced gunfighting, pew pew pew, everyone shooting at each other. It's kind of like you're behind the wall. You see that poor sucker. He's not paying attention. Bang, bang, he's dead. It's not really supposed to be like a one-on-one gunfight, because that kind of turns the game, changes the mechanics of the game. Sure, you still have the survival part, but the fighting part with the enemies is kind of, it loses what's really important.
A one-on-one gunfight in DayZ is a lot more realistic than a one-on-one gunfight in Call of Duty, because a proper one-on-one gunfight can last quite a bit.
Yeah, I've learned that.
Because everyone's using cover, everyone's trying to assess where everyone is. It's not, oh, I'm going to run around this corner and just unload the clip and hope I get lucky, especially when it's one life. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to respawn like 5 seconds away from it. You're going to have to run like a whole another 20 minutes just to actually get to where you were, just to find your body. It was already looted from the guy who killed you, and then you're gonna have to go. I can't believe
we actually just compared DayZ to Call of Duty. I really cannot believe it.
I know.
We didn't compare. We contrasted.
Well, yeah, contrasted. That's what I mean. Yeah. Compared it. Yeah, contrasted. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, one thing I feel like they should do though is add several maps, like what they're doing in the mod version, where there's several maps. I feel like they should have several large maps in the just starting in the alpha, just to see how it goes. And if people like it, they can get like extra maps, like a DLC kind of thing.
You know what I think they should also do?
Maybe they'll add the maps later. I think they just got to make sure it works first, if anything.
I'm reasonably sure that there will be other maps.
What I think they should do is allow players. Well, I mean, this doesn't have to do with the maps. But I think they should allow players to set up sort of like booby traps, like IEDs, you know, like rig helicopters and different vehicles, just to make it, you know.
But there should be a way to detect them, otherwise.
Oh yeah, of course.
Make a city, just put IEDs all around it, just chill there. The poor sucker comes along with his car. It's like, yes, I found a car.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I agree with the detection portion. I think there should be an indication in the ground that kind of, in a way, just looks different, like bumpy or just a different texture. So you can be like, oh, there's an ID here. But someone who's not experienced is just like, who cares? I'm just gonna run out, not play tactically. They're done. Their natural selection will take them.
Well, if you watch sorry, go on, Snow.
Yeah, well, the whole idea is being it's meant to be a simulator, isn't it? Like, he keeps referring to it as an experiment. You should be able to booby trap things, but the visual representation should be like equivalent to how it would be in real life. So if you do it sloppily, like like have levels of traps. So like really high level trappers or whatever, I don't know, could do it like perfectly, like everything's inside, and the only thing that would really indicate that it's a bad idea is the fact that there's a car standing in the middle of nowhere and no one's going near it. So like it should be visually distinct, but realistically. So not like a huge arrow or like it's on the minimap or something. I don't know, these are like kind of extreme examples, but just realistic. That's what I feel.
Yeah, because I think it should also take time if you're going to create an ID. And if, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a bomb pretty much.
Improvised explosive device.
Well, they've confirmed that there's a crafting system. So
Yeah, well, if you watch the full panel, there's actually questions based on that. And Hall like confirms the idea of like, well, later on we want to give... the way DayZ works, or the way Dean says it, is that basically we give the players the tools. We don't handhold them at all. Here's all the tools. Do what you want. So the idea is that you can booby trap your base or your house, and you can craft weapons and craft booby traps and do all this stuff that you want with the crafting system. Like even something basic as, or if you get some duct tape and you have a pistol, and a torch, you can duct tape the light to your gun, so you don't have to keep on switching them out and stuff. So it's all based on common sense. That's what Rocket always refers to in this panel. Like, everything is based on common sense. So if you want to common sense booby trap your base or booby trap a road, you can do, really.
Yeah, but then again, like bringing up to like booby trapping like the car or something, if somebody's not to notice that, I think it's gonna be a waste of resources just to kill them.
But if it's
like,
nearby your
it's protection,
base,
isn't it? It's protection. So
Yeah,
so
but
it's like the idea. Oh, I want to protect
yeah, but
this
if
car.
if they don't detect it, they're obviously not gonna be like strategically smart, and they're not gonna know how to raid a base
I
or
think-
whatever.
and then
So you're
natural
gonna
selection will
find
take them.
blindly.
I think
But again, that's their choice to use the resources like that. I mean, for example, if there was a zombie apocalypse, people would do that because they're bastards. But it's their choice to use their resources in that way.
I think that one thing they should add to DayZ is that they should add some sort of proximity limit for zombie spawning. For example,
Zombies don't spawn.
Right,
They're free roam now.
Yeah.
When you go in, they're there. There's no, you can't tell. Unlike when you go into the mod, if you scope out a city using your binocs and you see the zombies knocking about, you know there's a player there. All that's gone. The zombies just spawn in wherever now. There's no they spawn near players. No, they're just there now. They've got their own little life
'cause
inside the game.
what really bothered
yeah.
me is that I used to play DayZ, and like you grab some carts and kind of put a barricade on the road next to a house, create yourself a nice little blockade in your house, and all these zombies would spawn overwhelming. I think that zombies should no longer spawn just in city. They should be able to spawn all over in the map to also take out the guys who hide in the forest and just kill you from a distance, and then they creep up to loot you. And their zombies shouldn't spawn while you're in a city. Like, you're going through some loot in a house, there's no zombies around you, you kill them all right, you turn around, a new wave of zombies just spawned in right there. It's like, it would be impossible, even with all the IEDs and let's say they had barbed wire or sandbags that you could put down, it would be impossible because you just get overrun because zombies would just keep spawning where you are. So they should add some sort of proximity spawning system so that they don't spawn on top of you. They can spawn near you, but it should give you some time to notice them so you can fight back.
Within like a 40-foot radius.
Yeah,
would be
yeah, like
decent.
a decent proximity.
Well, like I said, they don't spawn anymore. They don't spawn in proximity.
Yeah.
That's gone. Like they just free roam
I'm
now.
glad they fixed that, but they still
they'll-
shouldn't spawn while the player's in the city. And maybe they should have some sort of
yes.
reputation level. Let's say the more reputation you have, the more zombies they'll spawn at you. Try and keep it interesting. Because if you have an assault rifle with hundreds of bullets,
The zombies know if you're a
Yeah,
bandit or
yeah.
a hero.
like some sort of reputation system.
It's like
'cause
great. Ooh,
if you have,
hero.
It's the zombies are smart. Yeah. Oh, he's a bandit. He's killed 4 noobs. Let's get
But
him.
wouldn't it make
Yeah.
it
Okay,
That's pretty horrible. That's pretty
All right,
horrible.
calm it down now, guys.
Okay.
We're getting a bit too giddy.
touching up onto like what Andre said, he said something about them spawning like everywhere around the map. I think they shouldn't. Like maybe like one or two maybe spawn randomly in the forest, just so it annoys those people that lives there, and maybe gives them some food if they're like low on food or something. Like, cause some now they carry like cans of meat or like water.
Well, like I said, please watch the panel because they free roam. They don't spawn in now, so they roam everywhere. Cities, woods. You'll get Walking Dead style hordes just roaming the area.
Much
and
better system.
Yeah.
Much
And-
better.
Yeah.
The skeleton's been redone. They track you upstairs now properly, and they actually you can't outrun them now. I mean, you can't hide in bushes. Their path tracking when they chase after you is a lot more curved rather than they follow the exact same place where you run. They get a lot more closer to you now. Their AI has been redefined. So yeah, the zombies have just been completely overhauled. So if you play the standalone the way you play DayZ the mod with zombies, you're fucked
Yeah.
basically.
No, because the thing is,
Yeah.
with the mod,
Yeah,
they
there's
have
no
very
chance.
limited things to what they can do now that they have pretty much this entire engine and this budget allocated, and they have a game dedicated to this. I'm sure they can do a much better job. They can fix all the problems that DayZ had with the power imbalance, and they could probably become one of the next zombie survival games if they properly promote it.
I'm sure all your fears will be answered in the future, Andre, when it comes out.
That's
The-
why
yeah,
there's an
the
alpha.
Zombie survival game.
Yeah,
It will
the-
be. It'll be like the COD Killer, pretty much. It'll be like that one game that nobody can compare it to, because it's such
no
a
one will
good
play.
game.
No one will
well,
play
no,
COD
it's
Zombies anymore.
It's unique. It's so innovative. Okay, that it has
It's a great
to be
idea.
good, essentially, because even if it's bad, which let's be honest, the mod's not too great as a game. Like
It's
as a
broken.
mod, it's fantastic. But if you paid
No.
for that, like
I wouldn't
properly
pay
paid
that.
for that,
I
it's
wouldn't pay
not too
that,
great.
no.
Yeah, but it's so innovative, people will play it anyway. Because there's nothing else on the market that can even compare to it, and people have been wanting a game similar to this for a very long time.
Let's just make
Yeah.
sure that there's no dickhead who's gonna, take over a city, fortify it, call it Woodbury, and call himself the governor, and make sure that he
Oh,
kills
the will.
everyone else.
There will be, and that's what's fantastic about it.
Basically, the limits are fucking endless with this game when it comes out. If it's done the way Dean Rocket says it's going to be done and the way it's going to be in the future and what their plans are, it is going to be sky's the limit. It's going to be the ultimate Walking Dead, the video game,
Well,
basically.
If
you
that's
know,
the case, then
it's going to be unstoppable. Every fucker might as well just stop making zombie games
But-
because it will dominate.
if that's the case, then DayZ will also be one of the best, sort of like platforms to make machinima in.
Oh, it
Sorta.
will. It will. It's definitely gonna
It could
dominate
be.
YouTube too.
It could be.
Yeah,
It's gonna,
of course
it's gonna
it's gonna be.
dominate. It's gonna dominate YouTube in a way that there are lots of people gonna do let's plays or guides or tutorials or whatever. But a
It
real
already
proper.
has, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, a real proper zombie machinima on DayZ, not in the DayZ buggy style, but in the DayZ
Yeah.
alpha style.
Well, speaking of machinima, Rocket also says this in the panel that they're working on a superior camera control system. So those machinima-like movies will be possible. So you will have a director's camera,
The
or something
cinematic
similar.
views.
Yeah, cinematic camera. Yeah.
I believe that
Built
there's
in
gonna
there.
be like a lot of like cinematic movies or whatever on like machinima channels or anything. Just
without
because like take a look at GTA 4 for an example. It's like one of those free roam games you get to do whatever you want, somewhat to like DayZ, except DayZ has like that zombie aspect into it and it's a little more hardcore. But a little mods and whatever, and it's good to make money making machinimas. You can make good money off of it.
Yeah, without doubt. Alright, well, let's wrap up DayZ. Alright, last but not least, 2 questions. Who's getting it?
Everyone.
Me.
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah.
I am
If
100%.
it's good, like they say, it's in the alpha, then I'm probably gonna get it. But the only thing is, because someone said he's played like 60 hours solo. I guess someone said it.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think DayZ for me would be the kind of game I want to play solo. I mean, still, you know, it's a hardcore
No,
game. It should not really be in the mainstream.
It's definitely
Yeah,
a
Yeah,
friend.
but at
It-
least
you
I need to
need
get
have
myself
friends.
one friend to play, because otherwise, I don't know, I'm out, I guess.
So,
Yeah,
so
sorry to
DayZ
interrupt,
Gone, guys.
but sorry to interrupt, but I didn't play solo. I actually played with friends, but like,
Yeah.
just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's finish it up on this last question. Who's in Cherno? Who's going to be in Cherno?
Nope. I will not see you there.
No, I want to be in
I'll be in
Woodbury.
Cherno. You can fucking guarantee that.
Just watch.
No,
just
I
watch
will
for
too.
me at the hills
I'm-
at Cherno. I'll be sniping you down.
Oh,
Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna run through
pleasure.
Cherno. But they have to add flamboyant pants into the game. You can just run around city, zombies chasing you, got these pink shiny pants on running around.
They should make that,
Woo!
and not only that, but if you see
No
a
one would
guy
shoot
in
at
a
you.
motorcycle that has flames going around it and it's all on fire because it's about
fucking
to
Ghost
blow up,
Rider.
and if it's about to blow up, just don't worry, that's me.
It's fucking Ghost Rider,
I
isn't
don't
it?
want to see Nicolas Cage in a DayZ game.
The bees. Oh no, my eyes.
How to get burned? How to get burned?
Right. Well, basically, we're all looking forward to DayZ. There's no question.